This morning, Idaho wineries are preparing for harvest this month, but as those grapes turn extra ripe, birds actually pose a big threat to the fruit. One Idaho winemaker, though, is turning to laser technology to help save their crop. After another season on the vines, it's almost time for these grapes to go.
We're at the beginning of harvest here, and we're excited about an awesome harvest.
September and October mean go time for Idaho vineyards, and the last few weeks of growth are precious. But as the grapes get ripe and extra sweet, birds become a threat.
So this is the time of year we've spent all the time and money training, pruning, spraying, keeping everything in check. We're literally a few days from harvest, and at that point is also when the birds want to come and eat them. They're beautifully purple, they're the right flavor. As they get sweeter, the birds get more and more addicted to this.
And we're not just talking about a few hungry birds here.
Sometimes we'll see flocks of robins or starlings that will come, and when there's 10,000 birds, they can easily take large chunks of the vineyard crop away in a short period of time.
Greg Koenig is the owner and winemaker at Koenig Vineyards. He says he's seen birds damage up to 40 to 50% of a wine crop before.
Bird control in vineyards is a big deal.
To scare off birds in the past, vintners have used canons.
Cannons that make noise, annoy the neighbors.
Or netting to protect the grapes.
That's very labor intensive and also expensive.
But nothing has been working really well until now.
People have noticed that there's no birds here and wondering what we're doing.
What they're doing is using a laser.
So the laser itself sits on top of the pole up there, and you have to just mount it high enough where it can reach all of the points of the vineyard.
There are two of these posted at J. Victor Vineyards. The lasers scan over the vineyard in a random pattern, shining these green lights to spook the birds.
It goes through its cycle through the whole vineyard every 8 minutes. So if a bird is here in the Merlot and gets startled, the dot will be back in 8 minutes while it makes its way through the place, and that's not much time really. I mean, the bird is going to fly away.
The result at this vineyard isn't what they're seeing, but what they're not seeing.
Well, we haven't seen any birds, which is tremendous because we're starting to see in vineyards that are not protected by this system lots of bird pressure, and I've seen a lot of bird damage in some early ripening grapes already.
The lasers are computer programmed to run at dawn and dusk when birds are most active, and they can be configured to target certain areas of a vineyard where birds tend to pick on the vines.
This would be a game-changing thing.
The lasers are already being used at a few major international airports and at a handful of vineyards in California and across the Pacific Northwest. But these are the first to be tried out here in Idaho.
I think a lot of people are watching to see if our experiment is going to work here, and if it does, I imagine there will be a lot more installations.
After all, experimenting is what Idaho's wine industry is all about. Okay, well, as for a harvest update, winemakers have already started picking a few varieties of grapes out there. They've had a lot of fun with that. Other varieties, though, will have to stay on the vines through mid-October. And that right there is the reason they need this laser.